CFSP graduates. My name is Karen Riley, and I'm the Dean of the Morgridge College of Education. I'm sorry that I can't be there with you today in person, but I want to thank you for inviting me to share in your celebration and for allowing me to participate and to give you this virtual hug. This time of year is always filled with mixed emotions, endings and beginnings, excitement and apprehension. We celebrate our students and their accomplishments through traditions and ceremonies. This year is different in many ways, but the underlying emotions and the rationale for celebration remain the same. We are so proud of you and for what you have accomplished, and even more excited to see what you will accomplish. Although this is your time for celebration, we would be remiss to ignore the pain, frustration, anger, and fear associated with recent events. As school psychologists, you can affect change. It's your role and our responsibility as educators. We need you and your commitment to social justice in our schools, in our communities, and in our society. Your commitment to serve others, particularly those who are most vulnerable and or marginalized in our society, fills us with great pride. We know that these next few months will be challenging. We also have faith in you, and we know that you are ready for that very next step. A couple of things to keep in mind as you move forward. Maintain your passion. It has been the driver for your efforts and has allowed you to stay focused and ultimately to succeed. You've chosen a path that is both rewarding and frustrating. Passion eliminates the idea of a job and replaces it with an identity. It's not only what you do, but who you are. Be brave in your pursuits and exhibit grace when those around you stumble. It is that grace that will allow them to join with you. Secondly, be generous. You've worked very hard. There is no doubt about it. And you have also been exceptionally blessed. Blessed with the gifts of intelligence and persistence, perseverance and determination, to name just a few. As you move ahead in your life, I will challenge you to be generous with those gifts. Generosity is more than sharing, more than collaborating. It's a focus on others, and it will give meaning to your life and to your accomplishments. Congratulations again, and I look forward to a time when we can see each other and can celebrate one another in person. Congratulations again.
Hello, CFSP students. This is your Associate Dean, Mark Ingberg. I just want to start by wishing you all a very hearty congratulations. I know that this is a bittersweet moment as you're celebrating such an important milestone amidst the continued violence, racism, and discrimination facing our Black communities. I want you all to know how impressed I've been at the ways in which you've enacted your training in social justice and how you've used your voice to demand change. I feel critical hope that each of you will enter your professional fields prepared to extend the lessons that you've learned in your program, and that each of you will continue to work to dismantle the institutional and systemic forms of racism that pervade our country at all levels. You are each in a position now to enter your professions with an eye towards enacting social change, challenging white supremacy, and fighting for equitable policies and practices in schools that are so sorely needed in today's world. Thank you for all of your contributions to our MC community, for your unwavering commitment to justice, and for all of the remarkable accomplishments you've made in such a short time. Congratulations.
congratulate the 2020 graduates of Child, Family and School Psychology program. I'm proud of what you all have achieved in the past few years, and particularly in the past few months. You persisted to finish Master's, Education Specialist, PhD degrees in School Psychology. I'm confident you will make your teachers, mentors, your families, and yourself proud as you continue to stay true to the ethics of your profession that have been ingrained in you during your time at DU. As you work with children, families, professional teams, systems, I'm confident you will continue to serve with empathy, honesty, truthfulness, and hard work, and push the boundaries for what is right and just. Do stay in touch, and best of luck.
Hello, my name is Aaron Bagley. I'm a 2020 EDS graduate. In the 5 years before coming to DU, I worked with the middle school age teenagers of the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. My experiences there, as well as the relationships I formed, truly influenced my decision to come into this field. I am passionate about working with students and families impacted by emotional and behavioral adversity, and I'm a strong believer in culturally responsive, MTSS, evidence-based, and data-driven decision-making.
Hi, my name is ALFARO Frost, and I am an EDS graduate. I'm passionate about school psychology for many reasons, one of them being the dynamic role that I get to play, working with teachers and working with specialists, as well as working with diverse groups of students to support their social emotional needs, their learning, as well as their overall mental health and well-being. I love being an advocate for students and for families to ensure that they get the support that they need and that they deserve. I look forward to continuing my work with rural populations in western Colorado in the Uncompahgre BOCES, specifically Ridgeway and Ouray public schools.
Hi friends, it's Allie. Congratulations. I'm so grateful to have worked with so many of you over the last couple years, and I know that you're all on to great things. Congrats.
Happy graduation, guys. It's been such a huge honor getting to know you and just watch your growth over the last several years. I'm so proud of each one of you and look forward to seeing all the wonderful things that you'll do in your practice. Best wishes and huge congratulations.
Hello, my name is Alex Morales. I am graduating in about a week or so with my EDS in Child, Family, and School Psychology. I'm super excited to begin my career as a school psychologist in a few short months, and some areas of passion for me include incorporating mindfulness into my practice and into our school systems. I also am excited to support students who have been impacted by trauma and also by substance abuse and misuse. Another thing that I'm super excited about is having my dog Yogi support me in my practice. He's going to be a therapy dog. So once he finishes his training and everything, he can come to school with me or come to work with me and just put a smile on everybody's face. So I'm really excited about that. Some areas of interest outside of my profession include hiking, traveling, and yoga. So thank you everybody, and congratulations to the rest of my cohort.
Hi, my name is ROHRBACK, and I'm an upcoming EDS graduate in the school psychology program. The last 3 years have been spent learning new passions, what feels like almost every day. I started off in this field with the hope that one student would leave their educational experience and be able to say that my work with them impacted their lives. As I've gone on, I've continued to find new passions, such as working with students on the autism spectrum, as well as working with Native students that live on the reservation. I'm so excited to start my first year of practice, and thank you, University of Denver.
Hi, CFSP graduates. Thank you so much for the path of advocacy that you paved for those of us who are now in the program. And congratulations. Way to go. You did it. I'm just going to share a quick poem from Morgan Harper Nichols. She's a contemporary poet from her book, All Along You Were Blooming, as an encouragement, and then we're going to celebrate you. Perhaps this is the season to step fully into the beautiful reality of what it means to be free, brave, and adventurous, and ready for the journey of learning and growing, of living and knowing. You do not have to have every answer to breathe deep and keep going. So to you, graduates of CFSP, I hope you continue asking questions and being curious. And I hope you have a lovely journey. Thanks for paving the way.
Hello, my name is COLIE HACKETT, and I am a graduate of the CFSP School Psychology program this year. I am passionate about school psychology because I'm extremely passionate about making change in the education system, positive change for students around mental health. So providing services for students in the schools, I think, is a particularly unique way that we can reach families, arguably better than a lot of other ways, in that we get that time with students day in, day out, and we get to form connections with their families and support them through that. So that's just one of the many reasons why I'm passionate about school psychology, and I'm also passionate about bringing my love of the outdoors into the schools as well, like nature therapy, stuff like that. So yeah, those are some of my passions and why I love school psychology.
Congratulations, everyone, you made it. The world needs you now more than ever, and I cannot wait to see all the brilliant and innovative practices and ideas that you bring to the field of school psychology. So many children, so many families are going to be so lucky to have you all.
Hi, I'm DARIAN CROWLEY, and I'm an EDS graduate. Throughout my time at DU, I have discovered several of my passions, such as early childhood and early intervention. I'm also passionate about implementing culturally responsive services, practices, and evaluations for our culturally and linguistically diverse students. I also hope to continue supporting our students with autism spectrum disorders through behavioral and social emotional interventions.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to graduate with my education specialist degree this year and enter the workforce as a practicing school psychologist. I'm really passionate about providing social, emotional, and mental health support to students from military families, an experience that I was really lucky to have throughout my internship working at an elementary school on post at Fort Carson down here in Colorado Springs. I'm even luckier to say that I get to continue that work next year as a full-time psych in the same building. I'm also really passionate about supporting students with or have experienced traumatic brain injuries. I get to do that through my district on our district's TBI team. Outside of work, my family and my home of Kansas City are my passions, and I'm really excited that I get to spend some time with them there this summer.
Riley. I'm an EDS graduate, and I really feel fortunate to have found a field and a career that I am just obsessed with. I love school psychology as a whole. What initially brought me to the field was supporting a whole child approach to education, recognizing intersections between learning and things like mental health, social support, family systems, community, so much more, and advocating for equitable education for disadvantaged students. I also wanted to help students find joy and accomplishments throughout their educational experiences. Now, I love being a part of a field that's at the forefront of so much progression and that's constantly challenging me to learn more and to lead more. I have found so many passions within the field in the last 3 years, things like student mental health counseling, systems level work and advocacy, consultation and the delivery of professional development, supervision and leadership, and psychoeducational evaluations. Especially that last one, I find it so fun and valuable to really get to know a kid and help them understand themselves better and help their family and their teachers understand them better so they can receive the support that they need to succeed through their education. Now, a huge shout out to the professors who have made entering this field so exciting and have given us all the tools. And to my colleagues, my cohort mates, the last 3 years have been unforgettable, and it has been such an honor and joy to learn alongside you and to learn from you. I'm so proud of us all, and I cannot wait to see what you accomplish. I just love you guys. Congratulations.
Hello, 2020 graduates. Wow, what a ride this has been. I have been so grateful to learn alongside of you, to listen to your insightful comments in class, to watch your presentations, see your research projects soar, be awestruck at your advocacy, and inspired to see the future of school psychology. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for all of you, to hear about all your fantastic accomplishments, and to hear how you've changed the world for better. Congratulations, class of 2020. Your students are waiting.
What's up, class of 2020? This is Jose Teniente wanting to say so happy for all of us to be graduating and moving into our individual sites. I know something that I carry with me professionally, personally, is this idea of extending my reach. I'm passionate about combining things that I've learned to this point with my own personal interests and creating something that's beneficial to those around me. So whether that's supporting a school by supporting the admin or supporting a family or supporting the student, or that's in my own family and being a role model for those younger than I am. That's all I have to share. Again, I couldn't be more optimistic for our cohort. I know we're going to come up with something meaningful to give back to the field of school psychology. Just keep doing what you're doing, guys. We're just getting started.
Congratulations, I am so proud of you and I couldn't think of a better group to go out there. We need you more than ever and best of luck with your next adventure.
Hi everyone! There's so many reasons I'm passionate about school psychology. This is really hard just to put it into a minute, but starting the program, I knew that I wanted to have a broader impact and support students with special needs and their families and really just work on meeting people where they're at. I've loved being able to work in the school and clinic setting over the last few years, and it's definitely re-emphasized that I am going into the right field and doing what my life passion is. I've really enjoyed working and consulting with teachers and school staff members and really being an advocate for students in whatever capacity that is. It's never boring, and I really enjoy, and I'm excited to be a school psychologist and continue to learn and grow.
Hi, my name is Michaela Brown, and I'm graduating with an education specialist degree in child, family, and school psychology with a concentration in early childhood. I'm so excited to begin my career and continue to support students and families this next year. I am most passionate about the family-school partnerships and all the opportunities I'm going to have to foster strong relationships with my students, the families, and the community. I want to say a huge thank you to those that have supported me along the way, especially my fiance, my family, and my friends, as well as my cohort, my professors, and my supervisors. I'm so thankful for my time at DU and all the wonderful people that I've met along the way.
Hi, I'm Nicole and I'm an educational specialist graduate. I am passionate about my work as a school psychologist as it focuses on supporting and advocating for children to reach their academic and their personal goals. More importantly, this work emphasizes the idea of the whole child in order to effectively support a student's needs. Specifically, our work on mental health support through preventative measures and social emotional learning is something that I find to be very important for a child's development. Finally, our work in creating an accepting and diverse environment for all of our students to grow and thrive in through culturally responsive practices is something that I am extremely passionate about. Every child deserves a safe and nurturing place that I plan to advocate for throughout my career as a school psychologist.
Congratulations, class of 2020. You guys have been such awesome mentors and role models in the CFSP program, and I can't wait to see where the future takes us.
Principe. I think what I'm passionate about the most is counseling and working with kids in SED and high behavior populations. Most of the kids I worked at my internship and my practicum site fit in these categories, and I just really grew to love that population. I think that using counseling skills goes hand in hand with working with them. When you're responding to crisis situations, having that toolbox of counseling skills that you can use in those situations has been really helpful for me to be able to use at both my practicum site and internship site. So that's really, I guess, what kept me going at these sites. So congratulations to everybody.
CFSP graduating students, I just want to say how grateful I am to have worked with you all, especially around early childhood. And I know that you all are so thoughtful and passionate and committed to your field. And I look forward to seeing what you accomplish in the future. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I am an EDS graduate, and I love school psychology for so many reasons. I got into this field originally because of my interest in childhood trauma, both individual and systemic, and I wanted to learn more about how trauma impacts the brain and how we can best support students in schools who have experienced trauma. That remains a driving force for me today, and I picked up many, many other passions along the way. For time's sake, I will just name a few, but they include crisis response and intervention, substance use counseling, supporting student rights for LGBTQ+ issues, and advocating for equitable education for all students, but particularly students of color. Thank you to the CFSP faculty. Thank you for pushing us and inspiring us and for making us future practitioners. And congratulations to my cohort and colleagues. It has been an honor learning alongside.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'm a third-year EDS student in the Child, Family, and School Psychology program. Some of my passions include restorative practices, trauma-informed care in schools, and inclusion for students with more significant needs. I'm very much looking forward to being in my career next year. Thanks.
Congratulations, Child, Family, and School Psychology graduates. I am Dr. Amy McDermott, Professor of Practice and Field Placement Coordinator for CFSP. I have had the privilege of teaching and collaborating with many of you over the course of your graduate education. I am continuously impressed regarding your passion for school psychology and dedication to the field. As you evolve from student to practitioner, continue to advocate vigorously for social justice and racial equality. Your voice is compelling in dismantling systems of oppression in education. Remember, as a practitioner, you are not alone. Collaborate with colleagues in this important work and acknowledge the force of multiple voices. I am so proud of all you have accomplished and to have you as colleagues in the field of school psychology. Congratulations.
Hey there, you cool cats and kittens. Congratulations, you're graduating. You did it. You did it. I know, like some of you, we didn't know. But the rest of you were really, really proud of MA students. It's been great getting to know you this year and working so closely. I'm so excited to get to work with some of you in the coming years, and others of you, I'm excited to support you as you go off and do amazing things. EDS students, thank you for your patience. I've had 16 kids and the time it's taken you to get through an EDS program, and so I'm just so happy that you were patient and understanding and kind as I myself went through life changes and you yourselves got to become the amazing school psychologists that you are. Doc students, man, y'all, thank you for holding us accountable as we built the doc program of our dreams. Thank you for all of the things. I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you. You have the tools. You're ahead of the curve. You're ahead of the game, right? Like, everyone else is trying to order white fragility online. You already got it. You read it twice. It was an assignment like 3 years ago. Same, just use those tools as you go out into the world. Just know that there are thousands and thousands of lives that you're going to touch, whether it be as a school psychologist or a dog groomer or a smoothie maker. Whatever it is that brings your heart joy is what you should be doing, right? Whether you have this degree or not. And so I implore you to really use the tools, the advocacy skills that we've seen you use as students in our program, and that we love. Just save the planet. No pressure, but you can do it. The entire planet. It all depends on you. Thank you. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. I forgot. If you need a letter of recommendation from me, I would be honored to provide you with one. Just write the letter, email it to me with the deadline, and then text me and remind me when you need the letter. Congratulations.
Dr. Mottes here. While I have been celebrating achieving a goal I've been working toward for the past 5 years, I find myself more interested in celebrating the conversations about racial injustice that are happening across our country right now. Over these past few years, I've learned so much about how to utilize my voice and also to examine my silence, asking whether my silence is intentionally creating room to listen to voices that have so often been ignored or just straight up complicit. I entered this program wanting to learn how to provide quality mental health services to individuals holding marginalized identities. I leave feeling more prepared to do that work and also have learned that it is my personal and professional responsibility to also support individuals who continue to perpetuate racism and injustice in their unlearning of implicit and explicit bias. We must all become better allies to one another.
Congratulations on graduating. This is so exciting. You got through your year of internship, and what a year it's been. And now you get to enter into your career as a school psychologist. I look forward to future connections with all of you as colleagues, and hopefully I'll see you at NASP. Congratulations.
Hey friends, my name is Laurel, and I'm a doctoral graduate in child, family, and school psychology. And it's exciting to have come this far and to be close to being done. There's no way on earth that I would have been able to make it through the last 5 years without the absolutely incredible, exceptional cohort of folks that I am graduating with. I am honored to hear about and to be in the presence of your work across the country. I'm so excited to hear about the things that we will do moving forward. I also am absolutely indebted to the faculty in the CFSP program. I did not expect I think when I began this program, I did not expect that I would grow in the ways that I have. And I'm incredibly grateful to have been in a space that encouraged and required me to do so. The faculty has pushed me to seek out opportunities that made me uncomfortable. They've encouraged me and supported me in becoming a better advocate for others, and I would not be the professional that I am today without their support. So thank you, everyone, and congratulations, everyone.
Hey, I'm Marisa Simoni, and I'm here to share some of my passions with you guys. So first, I'm really passionate about the relationships that I form with others, whether that be my peers, colleagues, professors, supervisors, and people just in my day-to-day workplace. I'm passionate about forming working alliances and personal alliances for the children and families that I work with. I'm passionate about merging my practicum and internship training and theoretical training in both school and pediatric psychology to be a compassionate, well-rounded, and comprehensive provider to children and their families. I care deeply about forming connections with people both at work and in my personal life. When I work with others and in my personal life, I hope to always be an ally, advocate, and confidant. Also, Black Lives Matter. Thanks, guys.
Good morning, class of 2020. I know this may not have been the graduation you imagined. Instead of walking across a stage, you're watching a video. Instead of cheers from your family, you get reactions on a Zoom call. And for those of you who interviewed with me, I am positive none of you gave the correct answer to the question, where will you be 5 years from now? But the outcome is unchanged. You are still brilliant and caring and impassioned practitioners. You are still the new wave of mental health providers who will be better, do better, and fight more than we did. You are still called. You are called to action, called to research, called to serve the families and children who will need you now more than ever. I hope you continue to challenge your peers, to collaborate with your community, and to remember that your perspective is unique. Your education has exposed you to what the world has to offer, and you might stumble or fall or make wrong decisions, but you all have learned how to rise, how to repair, and how to move forward. You are poised to make a difference. So many years ago in my class, I told you that as school psychologists, you would have a choice: to be a villain or to be a hero to a child, a caregiver, a teacher. I know that you will all choose to be heroes. You will be leaders, whether in big moments or quiet spaces. You will work hard, be kind, and face your fears. So, dear colleagues, for the last time, I urge you, go forth and do good.
Hello, I am MARNI CHOICE-HERMOSILLO, and after 8 long years, I am finally graduating, and I am very passionate about the research that I did for my dissertation in trauma-informed practices. As a result of my research, I developed a best practices trauma implementation model, and I plan my upcoming ideas for next steps would be to disseminate this information as widely as possible. So I plan on writing a few proposals for presentations and also some journal articles and a book chapter. On the side, I also am a licensed school psychologist and will be working part-time for Boulder Valley Public Schools. Thank you.
How's it going, y'all? I'm Pete Gladstone. My passions are, as it relates to school psychology, promoting post-secondary success for all students, really making sure that that transition from high school into regular life is more seamless, but especially doing so for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Relatedly, my research passions are related to self-determination and disseminating knowledge about just how important self-determination is in post-secondary success. Then my passions in life really would be spending time with my wife and my dogs, getting outside to go skiing and hiking, and all things Chicago sports. So there you go.
Hi everyone, this is Suzanne DELAP, and just checking in and saying that it feels great to have graduated. I hope everyone is doing great and staying safe right now. Good luck to everyone else on this journey, and thanks again.
Hi everyone, Gloria Miller here. We may not have seen each other for a while, but I jumped at the chance to congratulate you all on achieving this important personal and professional milestone. Also, thanks for choosing to enter the profession of school psychology, a profession that is dedicated to ensuring all students have the freedom to pursue their own dreams, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, ability, or social standing. Indeed, a core tenet of our profession is a commitment to social justice, which carries with it the responsibility to uncover and dismantle racism that oppresses, marginalizes, and unfairly impacts people of color. Now, this may seem insurmountable, especially in light of the senseless violence and murders we've continued to witness, especially within our Black communities. I agree with Andra Day, the award-winning composer and singer of Rise Up and Remember I Bleed. who during a recent interview with Van Jones recognized that this is a very difficult and confusing time. However, she also was hopeful that people, especially us white folk, would now be stepping up to commit to micro changes that we can control in order to affect the macro changes we all desire. But she also pointed out the difference between having a desire for change and making a commitment to change. First, by being willing to ask uncomfortable, tough questions about how we perceive the world, and to seek out and humbly accept feedback that helps us uncover how we perpetuate racism. For it is when we recognize racism within ourselves that it will be easier to promote meaningful conversation about social justice that can inspire change for others. You all are entering the field at a historic tipping point, but that's why I am also hopeful for the future, because I know that all of you are committed and are well prepared to harness your individual and collective power to make a difference and to become part of the solution. Your modeling and teaching of tolerance, compassion, and kindness, and your advocacy to empower the voices of marginalized individuals and communities will help dismantle, brick by brick, the walls of racial injustice and oppression that face our society. So my final wish for you, and for all with whom you work and live, is to thrive. It's been a great pleasure and a privilege to have been a small part of your commitment to transform lives. But remember also, we're here to continue to support you in this lifelong journey. So please do stay in touch. And again, my congratulations.